Just to remind everybody that language usage and content that we provide here may be disturbing, disgusting, probably will be and should be. Words like bloody custard and words that rhyme with that may be featured. Actually will be featured. In fact, perhaps will only be featured. Just warning you. Okay, on this episode, we're going to talk about all kinds of different things, including needlework, which is very essential to Indian culture, the bans on tobacco, should or should not be there, more importantly, pollution, which is something which is now becoming a separate state in India and which should be given state status, and peculiar habits of Indian males and females, especially when it comes to toilets and lines, which for God's sake has to end. For God's sake, somebody has to do something about this. I want to pee in peace and in solitude and without touching. And without hugging. And please don't brush against me when you're leaving. And for God's sake, don't use all the water when you're washing. One finger for touching your you-know-what. And I saw your you-know-what. One finger is being gracious. Listen to Cyrus Says from our website, cyrussays.in, our Facebook page, facebook.com/CyrusSaysIn, and on the Stitcher app for iOS or Android, search for Cyrus Says. I learned it by heart, yaar. I can't trust reading anymore. It's done. We are also on TuneIn Radio, your favorite podcasting software. We will soon be on iTunes. We're working on that as we speak. It's going to happen. And to learn about new episodes as soon as they're released, follow us on Twitter at Cyrus Says In, on Facebook at facebook.com/Cyrus Says In, or sign up for our newsletter from our website, Cyrus Says In. It sounds a little vulgar, na? Cyrus Says In, and now Cyrus Says Out, and then Cyrus Says In, then Cyrus Says Out, and then Cyrus Says, ho gaya, mera ho gaya, I have to go. Sounds really bad now when you think about it. And absolutely true. That's the way it works.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Brought to us by Gourmet It Up, partners with the best restaurants in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Pune, theindianbean.com. Coffee for everyone. Also, please let us know what you think of the show. You can email us on whatcyrussays@gmail.com. Yeah, I've got some shocking news for people like yourself who used to smoke once, Chhavi, and it's a very bad habit. And
I only smoke because I'm so hot.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I can't even do that. I already told you my problem with my lips. I can't hold anything in my mouth.
Because. Tell everybody else, don't just tell me.
Every time I start talking about these kind of things, you're supposed to say, move on.
Oh.
There is nowhere to go. There's nowhere good. It's all dark places. Speaking of dark places, the health ministry has come up with this. Well, the health ministry actually wanted to increase the font size and for the warnings on your regular cigarette BD pack. But apparently a BJP MP in his wisdom, Dilip Gandhi, who is the head of the parliamentary committee, issued the recommendation after examining the provisions that they should not increase the font size, and he also threw in maybe they should bring it down a little bit, make it less, make it smaller.
Because?
They've got this theory that, and there's something in it. I want to support the Dilip Gandhi gang here for a second. They've got a theory that all these things take place in the West. These studies that are done on carcinogenic and cancer causing and linked to lung cancer, and it's not done here. So,
Make in India.
It's a bit like the Make in India issue, but there's something there because there's all this Americanization of health where the industries come up and say, okay, don't touch the tree or your finger will get burned. Don't look at the wind or, you'll lose both your kidneys. They've come up with all these strange things in the West, and he's put his foot down and said, look, this applies to Western parameters, not to Indian parameters. They're different. So until you do this in Indian conditions with the local milieu and take into consideration all the different things that are available in India, like for example, we're a tropical country and we have Deccan soil, and our people are 3 inches shorter. These kind of things, put all that together and then do a source, then do a study, and then show us what your findings are. So I'm going to give him 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that point is misplaced because there are Indian studies which he maybe he can't read or something.
No, he can read, but I'm saying I want to fight this. A lot of these things are pushed down our throat. Now, in the case of tobacco, let me ask you, do you think tobacco causes cancer?
Of course.
Are you 100% sure?
Yeah.
Have you studied documents?
Yes.
Can you show me the linkage? Can you explain it to me in layman's terms?
In layman's terms?
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, it increases. So first of all, it decreases your lung capacity.
How do you know that?
I've seen all these things.
I've seen Mick Jagger perform. He smokes 40 a day. His lung capacity has grown. I'm just saying there's something in what Dilip Gandhi is saying that so he's not completely misplaced.
Mick Jagger smokes?
Like a fish. Now you'll say fish don't smoke. Again, Western concept, not mine. I haven't done this. They smoke in the West. The fish smoke in the West and they bring it down and give it to us here.
Okay, so, do the research yourself. Basically, in the West.
The point is that people just say, because they've just given us a barrage of cancer related to tobacco. What if it's not true? I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's not true, but what if it's not true? Have you ever thought of that?
I have thought of that.
What if Dilip Gandhi is right? What if you're fooling people? What if cigarette smoke actually helps your hair, for example? Or makes your deltoids grow bigger. I don't know.
It does help your hair. It smells like cigarette ash. And if you're with a smoker, you feel like you're licking an ashtray.
Okay, again, I'll move away deftly like a footballer in midfield. And I'll just get to this point, which is that Dilip Gandhi has said that he wants the whole thing to be done in an Indian setup and conditions as far as testing goes. And then you come up with your findings.
Yeah.
And
because science is, of course, not universal or applicable to anybody.
It changes
in our
according to
country.
race, nationality, wind conditions, geography, terrain. These are important things.
In cigarette consumption.
Okay, all right, fine, fair enough. Dilip Gandhi, we can't understand what you're thinking about. We don't know where you're coming from. We tried to fight for you. It's not working. I did my best. I tried to attack the terrible America. But the terrible America is not completely off target, apparently. And it does cause cancer. And it does cause lung issues. And it does cause marriages to break up because of bad breath. I know I dated a person who used to smoke and then he left for no reason whatsoever. So I just got to say, I don't know, Dilip, whether you're going to get any points for this one. It's a very tough one. And he's got a lot of support. And let me tell you why the support is there. Apparently, most of the MPs who support Dilip Bhai are linked to the tobacco lobby. They either
Shocking.
Could you believe that?
No.
Yeah, and they either own factories themselves or packaging of the cigarettes or printing of the cigarettes or distribution of the cigarettes or just consumption of the cigarettes sometimes. So basically, they're all sort of a part of a small, like a mini industry here.
I'm shattered.
I'm shattered. It's like lobbying once again. It's again from America.
But who would imagine this happening in our country?
Never in our desi conditions to have a lobbying situation, to have lobbyists are just terrible, disgusting. Lobby should be in 5-star hotels and nowhere else, as far as I'm concerned. So that's terrible. There's a whole list of ministers who are actually linked to the tobacco lobby in that way. And amazingly, you will not believe this, I swear by God, they put their hand up and said no to this whole health warning thing. They said, let's remove it completely. Or let's write it in Mongolian or something, so that, it doesn't really impact us.
In size 8 font.
In size 8 font right at the bottom of the cigarette, which gets burnt as you smoke it. Yeah. So Dilip Bhai, we tried, we did our best, but we can't do anything more for you. We did our best. But speaking of bans, I've got a much better ban that happened, which is, as you know, the beef ban is, gathering momentum. It's the biggest issue in India at the moment. Not nuclear proliferation, not our caste and class issues, not infrastructure, not disease, not poverty, no, not land grabbing, not terrorists. What is the biggest problem?
Beef.
We gotta stop beef, man.
And
India will survive. India will go really far. But now, apparently, in the High Court, there was a little bit of a tete-a-tete between judge and prosecutor, where the prosecutor said he wants to ban, that's just the beginning. They were going to ban mutton next. And the judge said, what next? Fish? Please don't ban fish because he apparently likes fish. But I was just thinking, why do they stop there? Why not just ban, just keep going. Ban fish, ban chicken, ban vegetables, ban potatoes, ban cereals, ban oxygen, ban water, ban jewelry, ban climate, ban people, ban clothes, just keep going. Why stop? And then he'll laugh like a maniac. Yeah, something like that, really. So I think we're going in the right direction as far as banning goes.
My understanding was that basically they want
But don't ban tobacco. Remember, don't ban tobacco, because we've got all these guys and all their families have to be fed and sent to Harvard to study, no matter where they come from. And so tobacco must stand. It'll be the last thing standing. There'll be no beef. There'll be none of this stuff. But tobacco will be the last thing left in our country. People visiting, that's India, look, cigarette. That's all they'll
So
tell.
we'll be overrun by goats and cows because we can't do anything about them. There's not anything to
They'd have all gone abroad for higher education. There'll just be tobacco left. Trust me.
Maybe they'll just eat the tobacco. Then what will we do?
The goats do eat tobacco. I've seen that. Yeah. They do. Goats actually eat tobacco. This is true. You've solved the problem. You stop mutton, alright, keep the goats, then the goats eat the tobacco and then everybody's happy. You solve the cancer issue in one go. You actually solved it, Chhavi. I salute you completely.
Thank you. I take a bow.
Yeah, so just to paraphrase the whole thing, at the moment the bans are going in the right direction. So if you want something banned, please write into us on
What Cyrus Says at gmail.com.
That's right. And just tell us what you want banned. And we'll just send the message through.
Yeah.
Right to the top.
Or we'll just ban it. Can we do that?
We can do that. We can start by actually banning it here and then we can push it through the corridors of power.
Excellent. And
what are the 5 things that you would want to ban on the spot?
On the spot. Cigarettes.
I would go for men dancing. Indian men shouldn't dance. I hate that. I'd ban that immediately. Next.
I was actually going in that direction. Like small little children who are, young
just
and
ban
pretty.
them all. Small little children are not good. They're just not good to look at. They just irritate. They cry too much, make too much sound. And they violate proximity. They touch.
They do. And children on airlines.
Ban airlines.
Ban airlines. No,
ban airlines.
We want airlines.
We want
adult-only
airlines. Airlines are like bus travel. Have you seen the people you're standing next to? It's not fun anymore.
Because there are children there and goats and cows.
The goats on the plane?
No, train.
All right. A train is not air travel, but Chhavi, put that drink down. Right?
Damn it.
Put the drink down. Let's get back to what we were saying.
All right, cheers.
Give me 2 more things you want banned. Come on.
Techno music.
Oh, I hate techno music. I'm with you. Ban techno music before tobacco. Honestly, for me, it's a bigger evil.
And maxi dresses.
Oh, maxi dresses for men. That's disgusting. And actually, coming back to that metrosexual thing, just ban it. I can't bear that. And I'm
you're wearing a pink shirt right now.
I'm not wearing anything right now. Just my skin color.
Oh.
Glad you noticed. I'll turn around. Now you can see the shirt.
Oh, thank
Tucked into
you.
my pant. No, but really. But techno music, huge. I would ban it. Also, a Punjabi rap, not funny.
Punjabi
You don't
rap.
have Punjabi rap? Baba Segal.
Oh.
Thanda Thanda Pani. I want to meet your
Does
Yani.
that count as...
People in Punjab rejected it.
That's not
People
Baba
in
Segal, that's
Black America
Yo-Yo.
rejected it. Yo-Yo is on another panel. Let's ban him. Ban Yo-Yo. Again, tobacco goes down again. We don't have time for tobacco. We've got so much to attack. Yo-Yo Honey Singh has to get the ban first. There's no question. You have opened my eyes to a Pandora box here. There's so much more we have to do. Techno music, Yo-Yo Honey Singh, Baba Segal, the list is endless. I mean, who the hell has time for tobacco? Or beef for them. They might have to bring beef back. We can't ban everything. We might have to bring this stuff back because we've got huge priority here. We've got to go to so many bigger things. What else? Traffic, ceiling traffic in Mumbai. Let's ban it. It's terrible. Have you ever tried exiting that? It's a waste of time.
Bottlenecks.
Bottlenecks, you're telling me. So Indian men dancing, I would put that definitely in the top 5. IPL celebrations. Have you seen Indians celebrate? Why do we do that with our hands? What's that?
It's the uncle dance.
The uncle dance, there's no rhythm.
No.
You go to Barcelona, you go to Brazil, you see people dance, poor or rich, they dance. You see us, it's like a maniac who's on speed and he's just going in one direction and like he's going to have one of these spasms and then die in front of you. And then he doesn't, so it doesn't have a happy ending. It's terrible. There's so much more to ban. Chhavi, let's think. Let's put our heads together. I said legs. I take that back. Let's put our heads together. I will put my legs together. And I should have, as a good lady should. And I will continue to sit in this posture now, since you've been looking at my, legs. And we will get back to what we should ban right now, on the spot. Let's play a ban thing, like a contest. Like you say one, I say one. You know, Jugalbandi kind of thing.
Oh,
and
goodness,
ban.
that pressure. Ban people from having real iPhones. Only fake.
Ban people from talking on iPhones in public.
Ban people from talking on phones where you can only hear half the conversation.
Ban men who do things with their eyebrows and separate them and make them look clean and sweet. They actually cut and trim them. I've seen them do that in parlors.
Hello, excuse me. I want to ban men with unibrows. I think they should do this thing.
Well, for some of those men, you have to understand that's the high calling on the entire face. That's what people notice. You know, give them something. I'm okay with the unibrow. That's like racism. Some people just have that.
Okay, fine. Ban gyms. Everybody should
Maybe
be
they can put
overweight.
their finger between the brow when they're in public.
Yeah, they can
So
just
you
talk
sort of
like
don't
that.
notice it.
Maybe
Yeah.
put a bindi on top of it or something. You know, the bindi will help them not get raped also.
Okay, now I think whatever you're drinking, you either need to share it with people listening and tell them right now what it is, or give us your list of medications that you have or haven't taken.
Oh, sorry, that was quite a leap. The Goa minister's wife, Lata ji,
What happened to her?
she said that if you send your girls to convent school and they
Right.
wear kumkum
Right.
and saris,
Right.
they will not get raped. Look at her. She has never been raped because she follows these sanskars.
Right. So we got to put up with the tobacco lobby and let them all sit together and make decisions. I think she's
Yeah.
in the right direction.
Yeah.
So all you have to do, let me get this straight, is put kumkum on your head
Wear a
and
sari.
wear a sari to school. So you have to
Wherever, yeah.
you get up at 4:30 in the morning now instead of 5:30 to put the damn sari on. Then you've got to go put the bindi on. And then you've got to walk all the way to the bus stop. You're 15 years old and this is what you're doing. It could crush a lot of people's sensibilities and personalities forever.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
Yeah. But the good thing is they won't get raped.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with Lataji as the greatest Indian of all time.
She
Ban
wins.
5 more people. Come on.
Ban 5 more people.
Or
So
5 more things.
Lata ji will ban.
What else do you hate? What about men in toilets? Have you ever been to a male toilet? You shouldn't. But if you have, let me
Actually,
tell you.
I have, yeah.
I've never understood why they come and stand next to you when it's empty.
I know.
Only in India. I've been all over the world, and everywhere in the world they give you space. If there are 20 urinals and there are 3 men, we all got space. But in India, if there are 2 men in 20 urinals, they all come and the man comes and stands next to you. Sometimes he looks at you. Sometimes he makes eye contact.
Ooh.
Why would he make eye contact
Sounds
while peeing?
creepy.
We're strangers.
Why don't men have stalls?
And
in
then
their-
wait, have you seen Indian men wash? Have you ever seen an Indian man wash? He's finished peeing. The size of his pecker is about 3.5 inches at best, and I'm being nice here. He's used 1.5 fingers. But he goes into that basin for half an hour. He takes out all the water possible in the whole of Maharashtra and puts it on his face, wipes his hair, wipes his shoulders, into his armpits, into his chest, into his back, into his private area, into his hands, everything. Why? He has a freaking bath after peeing for 20 seconds. Talk about water conservation. I say destroy these men in urinals. They need to learn how to behave in urinals. They don't know how to behave. I hate going to public urinals, but because of my kidney problem, I have to keep going. I got to pee at some point, and, I'm the German Shepherd, but I can't really pee on cars. It looks bad, especially if they're moving. So what I do is I go to the urinal, and the first thing I do is I try to take the end of the urinal if it's empty. Alright? And then I turn my bum, and I try to take the second urinal and pee from far. So I've got two. I do all this, so I don't have to make eye contact, because I have anxiety issues. If they look at me, I can't pee. I feel nervous. It's normal. You can ask lots of men. I know about women, but men have this problem. But Indian men don't have this problem. They just come and stare at you. Hey, what's up? In their mind that's going on, blurb in the head. And I'm like, I'm peeing, you're peeing, we're rushing. Why are we talking? And then he goes and uses all the water in Maharashtra. And then you tell me about problems. We got problems. It's the Indian men. Get rid of them.
Ban them.
Ban them all.
Ban
Marry Sri Lankan men, the world will be a better place. I have no idea. I've never met a Sri Lankan man in my life. Honestly. Okay, now you tell me, what angst do you have?
Well, my angst actually related to this is I didn't realize that my Indian men...
You were in a male urinal?
No, I've never been to a male urinal.
When you're being in the male urinal has a twist to it. The whole thing changes now. It's not a
I haven't. No, but here's the thing. In restaurants, they'll have that soft and stuff out. Or candies, right? And I see all these men coming straight out of the bathroom, heading to that. Yeah. They ignore the spoon and they pick it up with their hands and put it in the palm and then go and they eat it. Right. And I'm like, oh my God,
and urine is dripping down the hand back into the thing.
That's what I imagine.
And that's how the colored candy happened. It was all white, and then because of the urine, it becomes yellow and pink and stuff like that. I can tell where you're going with that. Yes. Terrible.
So that was my fear, but now you're telling me they use all the water to
I'll give you another example. Air India. You travel Air India, a lovely airline. The air hostesses, they may be old, they may not all look like Sridevi, but for God's sake, they're really nice. But you go into an Air India plane, and as the plane starts, it's already dirty, the toilet. How? How does that happen? You take Swiss Air, it's pristine clean. Yeah. But you go to Air India,
it's even got the wrapping around the toilet seat.
Tell you, it's also women, not men. Because I've been like a spy. My petty, shallow mind is such that on a long flight, I just keep staring at the toilet to see who's going in. And I'm looking in, and there's this middle-class lady, let's call her Mrs. Sharma. Mrs. Sharma goes in, wearing her sari, as you said, wearing a kumkum and a 42,000 bangles. And when she comes out, I go to do my inspection. It is like Powai Lake overflowed. It's everywhere. And Mrs. Sharma is huge. She's twice the size of the loo. So why is everything spilling? I don't understand.
Do you think it's because the basin is really tiny and
I think she was standing and trying.
God.
It's just a cultural thing. Maybe this is how they do it in the West. So let me have a crack at that. Oh, sorry. No pun intended. But yeah, it's amazing. I will promise you, hand on heart, that if we do a test of 10 flights, which involves traveling out of India, as against coming into India with mixed foreigners, there'll be a huge difference in hygiene when it comes to toilets. Why is this? When we invented toilets, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa.
This is true.
It's true.
But they were squat toilets. Maybe
That's
we
okay.
should have an Indian toilet.
They were clean. Of course, they had a different caste system there. The lowest caste member would go into the toilet and wait for you and clean everything. So it was different. That whole concept. And not a job you want today. No. But of course, you get what you get.
No, but I'm serious. Do you think they should make squat toilets in the...
But maybe, or they should give it optional as well, no? Because the other thing is the consumption of water. Not all of it is toilet water. Sometimes it's water from the basin which is flying. Why does it fly everywhere?
Because it's so tiny.
Yes, but just take out a little. You don't need to clean everything. You don't have to have a bath. Why are we doing that?
This is true.
It has to end. Somebody has to stop this massacre of toilet culture. We are doing this single-handedly. A great country like us, intellectually a fantastic country, great entrepreneurs, but why can't we wash properly?
I don't know.
And without using so much water.
You've seen those signs, right? Where it says don't squat.
Don't talk about Indian men and size. That's another issue.
Not size.
I've gone to a therapist twice just for that. All right, let's get back. Let's get back on track. Now you tell me, I want to hear your pain. Otherwise it sounds like only mine.
It's your show, man.
No, come on, tell me what you, as a woman, tell me something.
Okay, so what I don't like, with our minds are still in the toilet.
You're not getting upset. I want someone to get upset.
What I don't like is old aunties who cut across lines. So, historically, wherever there are toilets...
Don't start me on line culture in India. That's almost as bad as toilet culture. Nobody's figured out the line.
This is a line toilet culture.
No, see, we had the shunya culture. We invented zero, right? But it all comes back to that. So there's no line. It's all the starting point, which is the same ending point. So they don't believe in a line. You stand in a line and people just walk in and out anytime they want to.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So the NCPA...
Sometimes they wave to you as they walk in. Hello.
Or not. So the ladies that I'm talking about never make eye contact. Mm-hmm. So see, the NCPA...
Are they really short? Are they midgets?
No, they're just aunties.
Okay.
So there'll be like normal non-aunties waiting in line. And someplace, like I said 3 times already, like the NCPA has only 2 stalls for women. Okay, historically there are more women who will need to pee than men anyway.
Yeah.
2 stalls for like 100 women. Are you... Okay.
And how many for men?
I've never been inside. I don't know. Maybe 3.
You should do it.
But look at any place. In the airport, in a hotel, in a restaurant, there will always be women waiting to go pee. A concert, whatever. And there are never enough stalls.
Right.
So they should just build more, first of all. Then, so there are 5 ladies all not making eye contact, looking around here and there. And one auntie wearing a sari will just walk straight in, past all 7, 8, 9 women there, and just, as soon as the door opens, step in. Without an apology, it's just, entitlement.
Is she holding her stomach and gasping heavily?
No, she's not.
Is she about to give birth to a child?
She thinks age before beauty.
Has she eaten too much butter chicken, too much oil and butter?
Do I care?
I'm just asking. Sometimes it's an emergency.
She doesn't give an explanation. And this happens more than once and it's not the same auntie. So
on her way out, does she say thank you?
No.
Does she do Surya Namaskar and sun on her head?
No.
This is very strange behavior. It doesn't make any sense.
This is the privilege of being an auntie in India. I can't wait to get this over.
I am an auntie in India and I don't behave like this. And let me tell you one more thing. I thought it was only men who are misbehaving when it comes to urinals and lines and all. But you're opening my eyes to a terrible... there's no cure then. I had faith in the women. So women are equally badly behaved.
Absolutely.
The jungly capacity of our country is continuing.
Totally.
The tradition of behaving like a complete nutcase.
In Phoenix, for example, there are 4 stalls, 2 don't work.
In Phoenix, Arizona?
In Phoenix Mall, Lower Parel. Yes.
Oh, okay. Not quite the same field.
Not quite the same. So at Phoenix, 4 stalls, 2 are not working. Only 2 stalls functional. Ladies will be in line. And I don't know, every time I'm in there will be somebody who just like waltz in and is like,
why did you stop them?
We do, and we say, excuse me, there's a line. And she'll be like, oh, sorry, okay. Really? You couldn't see all these people?
She carries on or she comes back?
No, she comes back, chastised. Yeah. This happens in airports also.
Try talking to a man. I've told them so many times, sir, bahut jagah hai udhar. I point and he looks at me and like it's an observation. Bahut jagah hai udhar. And he continues peeing almost on my feet. I mean, I don't know what to say. The other thing is when you go in and out of the thing, they don't mind touching. Ew. Anywhere in the world, you wouldn't want to touch people. Not because of untouchability.
Not in the loo.
You're not a loo. You don't want to make physical contact. But in India, people don't care about this. They have so much problems in their mind that space is never an issue. Proximity is a big thing with Indian males. You just don't care.
Maybe they don't know what to do with so much space.
I don't know. They just
huddle.
They stand right next to you. Have you stood in a line in the airport, which is supposed to be where richer people take planes, more educated people take planes? I'm told, but no longer. It's hilarious to look at. They actually have a yellow line, and you see if we are an Indian group, below on the yellow line will be me, and then if 7 Indians on my back. All right. If we were in Japan, there'd be 6 feet between each person. And they'll be very respectful and never make eye contact or touch each other. But here, you're just humping each other like mad animals and waiting to get then touched by the BSF guy who then stops at your crotch while having a conversation about cricket with you. Oh, yaar, bataiye wo IPL mein wo Rajasthan Royals ka kya paristhiti hai? And I'm saying, can you finish with my crotch and go up to my chest and talk at least? I mean, it's ridiculous. But they just do that. I don't know. I can't take this anymore. I've asked for a green card. But apparently it doesn't work like that. You have to actually go and apply. You can't just call up, hey, give me a green card.
I need refuge. Yeah, I'm on exile from my country.
My producer, the nutcase, an absolute madman if ever there was one. He was in America for 20 years and came back. Okay? He is not a wanted criminal. He's not wanted. I checked Interpol. He's not wanted. So what is the reason? He's not a transvestite who's changed gender and escaping a bad marriage. I couldn't get a reason. He's not a terrorist. He's not affiliated to any terrorist. I was so disappointed. Not one terrorist network is named in his biodata. What the hell did he do? Why did he come back? Then I thought of the only one reason. He must be owning land in Mumbai. That makes sense. That's why all the rich Texan Americans come running back to Mumbai. It's got to be that. They've got ancestral homes. Then because each home is more expensive than the city of New York. Let's be open about that. We can't lie anymore. This is the richest city in the world, although covered in a haze. Thank God. Dust. Why do they have that haze inside the toilet so we can't see each other? That would be great.
Wow, what a good idea.
You know what you and I should do? We should go to toilets together.
What?
And we should fight this stigma. We should go there and we should preach. I'll come with you to the ladies' toilet. I don't mind. I will stand there and I will take my blows.
Talk about a soapbox. No,
somebody has to stand up and fight. It's not about gender anymore. It's about our country. Come on. We have to do something.
Well, I think all of us do in our own... Well, some of us do in our own
ways. All you do is, auntie kya karte hai or something like that.
I'm very strict.
You have to preach to her. Auntie ji, rokyo. That's Bihari for stuff. I was just presuming that she's Bihari. I don't know why.
I don't know what she is.
Yeah. And then you have to give them a lecture, a bhashan.
Of course.
And you have to explain to them the glory of India. We are the country which doesn't have Isaac Newton, which threw out Akbar. We are the glorious culture that is so risen in the East and gone somewhere else and coming back soon in 24 hours. And that they have to wait in line politely. It's done all over the world.
Not here.
No, not here. I give up. I've got some terrible news. After we take a break, we come back, we have to discuss the DP development plan of Mumbai. And there are two issues here. Can you say developed?
Yes.
Because most of India can't. They say developed.
Developed, yes.
That's going to be half the battle that we're fighting. And the other part is there'll be no open spaces left for your child to run in peace and live happily and use the toilets, which is the open space.
Cyrus says it's time for an ad.
The IndianBean.com is a premium Indian coffee company, and they have visited all over the country to find the best coffee grown in India. They've checked it all. The best. They talk about fair trade, they roast fresh, promote Indian coffee, and they deal with farmers to get the coffee-loving customers single estate coffee, which means it's absolutely the most refined coffee possible. 10% discount for all purchases at the IndianBean.com with the discount code Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Right, I'm just very upset, folks. I don't even want to talk at the moment because I've got hair in my mouth. And let me explain why. I took a vow, like a manat, about in December, not to cut my hair until certain things happen. Those certain things haven't happened. It's now April, mid-April, and I don't know what to do. The hair is growing only in one direction. That is like 4 hairs ahead of my forehead. They're falling down towards my eye and nose. Nowhere else is there hair. In fact, I'm balding everywhere else. So I don't understand this paradox. It's very painful, and I want to bring our producer in right now to tell me, because she's a young lady who has good hair and will explain to me the problems that a 40-year-old male faces when he refuses to cut his hair. What's going wrong here? Chhavi, tell us.
I think the problem is you're refusing to cut your hair.
No, but why?
Your 4 hairs.
I was watching the great Harsha Bhogle, one of the finest commentators the world has produced, who went from an early Harsha where he had, balding issues into now this Lionel Richie look that he has right now. Why can't this happen to me? Why can't my hair grow uniformly? Why isn't it more secular? Why is my hair fighting each other on the head? Why is it pulling in different directions? What is wrong with my hair? Why can't it come together? No pun intended. Live together. No pun intended either. And be one. In a Michael Jackson voice.
Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that you're Indian.
Maybe. So you've got nothing to offer me. There's nothing I can do. No rubbing some oil that a Baba in the Himalayas has given you. No conditioner with the special 3-in-1 effect. No doing headstands every morning. No yoga, asanas, something?
No, I'm drawing a blank. I think this is all genetics and...
There's no hope.
There's no hope.
Today was for hair, next week is foreskin. Be prepared for that special episode. But for now, we'll move on to something more exciting. They're going to destroy Mumbai. I'm so happy to tell everyone. By 2034, we will be completely destroyed. We'll be high-rise structures everywhere. There'll be no open spaces. It's unbelievable. Your children will have to play in the bathroom. That's right. You bowl from the hall. The ball goes into the bathroom. He plays a shot and you shout, bravo, well done. I don't know why you shout bravo, because in our culture, Italian is banned after May. So I don't know why we do bravo. But coming back, Chhavi, what's happening? What is this development plan? DP, which is causing pain to many people. And this is true. We're not joking.
Yeah, it's horrible. They want to get rid of... So there are 1,496 structures that were on this list in 2012 that were heritage structures.
I can't believe you just said that out top of your mind, the way you know the subject. Go on.
And this time
She's
around...
reading everything. Yeah, go on.
More than 1,000 are missing from this list.
We've already lost.
They just omitted them.
So let's just say plan 1 has been optimized to its potential. Now we're on plan 2.
Yeah, which is destroy everything. Marine Drive.
Go ahead.
All your Agyaris are going. 24 of them.
Yeah, apparently. Well, they're also on the hit list. But, religious institutions will fight hard. This is a country where we always win from the religious right point of view. But let's, and I mean right in a nice way. Let's get back to the whole thing about open spaces first, because that's the biggest issue. The Maidans is it's like the Nazi stormtroopers. Just overrun the Maidans are gone. That's it. Overnight. They end and we have all kinds of things coming in their place. What happens to our spaces outdoors? Will actually become, people used to talk about it, a concrete jungle is just like a joke actually. Will actually literally be that. Shall we stop nodding? Your head will fall off.
It's true. It's really terrible. I think Shivaji Park might stand though because of its name.
That's
Maybe.
right.
But the rest are going.
Yeah, but they'll keep the name, but they'll change the infrastructure. See, the worry is the people think it's only a South Bombay phenomenon. Let me warn you. Luckily, we don't have people listening beyond Prabhadevi right now. But in case we do, let me warn you, it's Andheri, it's Khar. The plans are everywhere. The plans are very clear. And by the way, they had a French guy. I did some research on this, and as usual, it's half-baked. But they had a French architect help them go through all this. Now, what will a French guy know about the history of Mumbai, really? I mean, at the end of the day, the sentiment that he has is a little different. You pay him money, he says, we, and the work is done. So, it's a little different for me. I think they should have involved more hardcore Mumbaikars from a generation before who have a history, a sense of history, a sense of, the architecture, a sense of everything.
I agree. There is the Mumbai Heritage Conservation Committee who is just outraged because they weren't consulted. And they did come up with this list before, but it was ignored.
And unlike other Mumbai committees, they actually live in Mumbai. So, they know what they're talking about.
They say...
This looks like it was planned in Calcutta, this whole thing, because it's all over the place. But I think we need to get more details. So what we'll do is in another episode, or webisode, or radiosode, or
podcast episode.
Podcast. That's so done. Podcast. Okay, podcast. We'll get in some big names that know what they're talking about. People from the Heritage Committee who are fighting tooth and nail to preserve Mumbai. Your question is, having driven through the streets of Mumbai, why preserve this place? Well, that's also a valid point, fair enough. But having said that, it can actually get worse. People won't believe that. Yes, Mumbai can become worse than it is. Unbelievable but true. It's almost like, please believe it or not. Believe it. It can get worse.
It will get worse. We don't have the infrastructure to support this. We need open spaces, not high-rises just coming up everywhere.
That's right. So if you're smart, quickly move to Thane as soon as possible and have a healthy life. The rest of you, God help you.
Well, you can write letters also.
Oh, yeah, you can write letters. Let me just quickly point that out. You can write letters to the Heritage Committee or to the CMO directly, the Chief Minister's office, which is very close to my house and my producer Amit Doshi's house as well. We live very close to him. We share cars sometimes with the CMO and the CM himself. He waves to me all the time. Or he does something with his hands, but I can't tell. Anyway, the point is that we all live close by. He's a really nice guy, Mukhyamantri. Naam hai Fadnavis ji. And we should put a little pressure. Maybe he'll listen to us. Apparently he was an architect or an engineer once, so maybe he'll understand. Both these parties are involved, by the way, in this deconstruction of our city.
Right. So can we email him?
You can email him, but no jokes. All right? You just get to the point. I hate it when you send emails, to big important political figures like, knock, knock, who's there? Me who? Chinese. No, not funny. Not good. Not in good taste. All right. Let's move on. So that's the death of Mumbai, which we're predicting. If nobody wants to do anything about it, there's nothing we can. We'll just have to move to Gurgaon and have Punjabi actions. What's up, yaar? What's coming on?
Gurgaon has so many green spaces. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, well, I won't say green, but there are spaces here and there.
They're called malls.
They're called malls. That's right. Well, you're right. One of them is green. When I think back.
Really?
Yeah.
Green Mall?
36 Sector B, that one on the right. If you take a U-turn, bang into a car and then you'll see it, yeah. Okay. Moving on, we've got some interesting topics for today. We've got Rajasthan is in the news for all the right reasons, and you're going to tell us why.
I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Well, it's because the Minister for Secondary and Primary Education has decided that, we don't want foreigners.
Let's give him a name first. So the people listening, let's make him friendly. Let's call him Bob. Typical Rajasthani name. Anywhere you go, people go Bob. So Bob says that foreign influences have to be removed. Am I right?
Yes, his name actually is Vasudev Devnani, but you can keep calling him Bob. No problem.
I think Bob works better. Bob, just from a purely, with no disrespect to Vasudevji, I just find Bob to be fast on the tongue.
It is. Yeah, Vasudev.
And it's Bob. A foreign name, so hence there's a bit of a satirical
That's the dichotomy
that we're trying to make. Beautifully done. Beautifully played.
His point is that foreigners shouldn't be in the history books. People like Maharana Pratap.
Or Tom Alter. Leading actor of Bollywood.
Yes, of Bollywood. Yeah. They should... So wait, is your point that he's a foreigner or not a foreigner?
Get back to your point. Maharana Pratap is not a foreigner.
No, he's not a foreigner. But Akbar, who was born in Sikandra, Fatehpur, wherever he was born, is a total foreigner.
Somewhere between Delhi and Agra. They kept moving the cities, so it doesn't matter.
They did. He might have even been born in Lahore. I don't know. No. But because he was this white dude.
White dude.
I guess.
All right, you were there. Okay. Let's call him Bob. White dude Bob. It's very confusing. Everyone's called Bob in the show.
Well, there's also Isaac. So we won't have one.
Isaac was Bob. I'm not lying. They called him Bob as a kid. Everybody would hey, Bob's come. Look, he's on the tree with the apple again.
Yeah, throwing things.
Always with the apple.
Yeah. So Isaac Newton, Bob.
Yeah.
Bob again.
Bob again.
And people like Euclid and Pythagoras, because they're just, footnotes in...
Now, let me, I don't want to take away from the seriousness of this issue, but when you have a name like Pythagoras, you do need a Bob. Because there's no way back in Greece they'd be like...
I'm pretty sure he was Pat or,
You think?
Yeah, Pip or something like that.
Or what about the last syllable, ass? I mean, Pythagoras. The ass would also be, no?
Sure.
Let's get back to the issue on hand, which is foreign influences he finds wrong. So, let's look at it one by one. Akbar, I personally I have a little problem with that because I thought he was as Indian as you can get.
No. He was this white dude called Bob, so he needs to be struck out of the history books. He did nothing for India.
But by the end of his career, he was a vegetarian, he was an animal lover, he was a pacifist, he had turned towards Zoroastrianism and Hinduism in a big way.
Din-e-Ilahi.
Din-e-Ilahi, where he opened a debate, which he allowed and where he enjoyed enjoyed it when, different religions would attack each other.
Isn't he the guy with the Navratnas? Tanse.
Yes, all of them. Yeah. Man Singh and the works, the whole lot, Todar Mal. You're right. It's all coming back to you. Birbal, of course, was he there or not? No one can actually prove, but the costumes say he was. So, he had those jewels, the 9 jewels of the court, or 10 jewels, or 11 and a half jewels.
Very secular.
If you want to get dirty. 9 plus.
Family jewels?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And let's not go there. Bob gets upset even today. So, very Indian, I thought. And, he tried to unite the country as much as he could in his own way. I always look at him as a modern day Ashoka, but then what do I know? This Bob Vasudevji is probably more erudite.
So they're kicking him out. They're revising 6.5 crore textbooks.
So what do? We just pretend that didn't occur. We go, okay, we'll skip 1556 to 1605. Didn't happen. Move on.
I'm not sure, but I know what he wants to do is call Maharana Pratap the Great from now onwards.
But Maha is already great, so it'll be Great Pratap the Great. Mm-hmm. So there'll be 2 greats. There'll be great. Okay, that's great. That's
Every
fine.
time you talk about him.
Fair enough. Okay.
You can't just say Pratap.
You can't.
Or
You
Maharana
shouldn't.
Pratap.
You shouldn't. All right. Next. Who else?
Next.
Isaac Newton. So science changes. We have only the old Aryabhata and gang that we can refer to.
I suppose. I'm not sure if he's just going to pretend this didn't happen or pretend that Maharana Pratap the Great.
What he could do is give them desi names. Isaac Newton could become, something more Indian sounding, like Inderjeet, Navaljeet Kumar. How's that? Nice?
I think that works.
Inderjeet, Navaljeet Kumar.
What would we do with Pythagoras?
Pythagoras is very tough in any culture.
Pratap! Oh my God, it's Maharana Pratap the Great.
Pratap is good. Pratap is possible, yeah. So, and what is the full theory of all this? That their influence doesn't exist, or we should just change it?
We need to know more about the Indians, which apparently you can only absorb so much in a textbook, so you have to make space for the new Bible.
So remove the non-Indian heroes and keep only the Indian heroes.
Yeah, they want to add Bhagat Singh, who's already in our textbooks as far as I know. Yeah. And Veer Savarkar.
So who's in the period? Only Maharana Pratap in the medieval period, in the Mughal period?
I'm not really sure. Surajmal, Maharaja Surajmal, Mal, I'm not Rajasthani.
Fair enough. You weren't invited to the wedding. Why should you know everything?
I don't have
Good enough. Okay, so basically there'll be gaps in textbooks and we can do colouring and things like that to fill the time. Okay, sounds good.
A lot of people are doing.
A lot of people are doing, which brings us to our next subject. Very interesting that adults have colouring books. Am I right?
Yeah.
Again, will you take us through that? Because as usual, I haven't read it.
Amazon.com's bestseller list is topped by
colouring books for adults. Let's just explain that. As an adult, you buy a book and then you can colour in. So what is it, like pornographic stuff inside and you have to colour in? Is it that?
It could be.
What's the adult
It
content?
could just be our textbooks with
Don't
blank
act like
pages.
you're not doing it, Chhavi. Come on, tell me the truth. You bought 4 books.
Of course I answered. I am not part of that phenomenon.
Oh, God. Why do we ask these textbooks, why don't we send them to Bob from the education department of Rajasthan, whose real name is something else. And maybe he can incorporate the coloured textbooks with the desi figures. And everybody could be happy.
This is true. I think that's a great idea.
And history could take just 5 minutes. Mughal period. 3. Orange, green, blue, yellow, done. Move on. Independence period. Yellow, pink, white, done.
This is supposed to be a stress buster. I think this would work perfectly.
Yeah, I can see a future here. I don't see it such a bad idea, such a bad thing to do. Yeah. Would you use that? Is that something you do, colouring books?
I cannot say I do, but...
Is this aimed for the Indian market only?
No, I don't think at all. No. But
Bangladesh,
I imagine
Nepal?
maybe it's like Sudoku. You know how it was this...
Sounded very infantile and then it became very intelligent.
Yeah.
So there's many layers is what you're saying in colouring a book. We haven't got it yet.
No. Maybe we're not evolved enough.
Yeah, so we think it's stupid, but it's not, because it's actually much more than that. It's much deeper. Alright, so our advice to everybody else is don't knock it till you try it. Get on Amazon and go and order a couple of books and colour them.
And if you've tried it, we want to hear from you. What did you colour?
And how was page 87 and what was the full plot of the whole story and everything else? Give us...
Do you think there's a plot?
Of course, there has to be a summary. It's like Benetton.
Okay, the last colouring books I saw were for kids, and they had just these outlines and children scribbling all over them, and there was no plot.
That was my book, I think. I'm sorry, it didn't reach you. My sense of profundity is obviously not being appreciated in my lifetime.
Well, if you're topping the bestseller list, you're doing something right.
Anyway, I think, but as a piece of, it's not even a piece of comedy, it's a piece of, a reflection of society today, that if colouring books is the way to go, then maybe that's it. Why fight it? Don't write, just colour. That's the truth.
Maybe we should all just move to, we have tablets now.
Yeah.
Forget that, we should go to slates.
Yeah.
Get our chalk and...
Yeah, I don't know. I would look at subjects would be one colour per subject. Like maths could be green and, history could be red and, that would be leftist. But you know what I'm saying. Without any double meaning, we could just do the whole thing, the whole gamut in just a few colours. and make the world a happier place.
I think we should write to Ms. Raje and ask for you to become the primary and secondary education minister.
I could just take primary. Why take on 2 jobs at one time? I'll start with primary and see how it goes.
Okay, and then work with primary colors and it'll be all good.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. Maybe it looks silly now, but maybe that's the future of education. Maybe that's where it's going. Maybe that'd be the way to go all over the world. Maybe that'll make the world a better place. What do you think? I don't know if you'll land up joining Boko Haram or Al-Shabaab if you're, coloring books all day. Probably won't. What do you think?
Maybe this is the way to counter.
You just sit there, you're full of aggression and anger and hate and energy and you don't know what to do, and they give you this book and you have to keep coloring it, and it all, it gets out that way.
I think it could work.
Yeah,
I support this.
It's like a new form of yoga, using only your fingers, which is for lazy people. The best yoga ever invented.
There's other things you can... Never mind. Okay. So, yes, if other people out there who are listening have done this kind of therapy, we really want to hear from you.
Color to us at whatcyrussays@gmail.com and we'll color back. So after the break, we're going to talk about pollution. Not just noise pollution, which you and I are very much part of, but the pollution which is destroying our look. I used to be porcelain white. Look what happened.
Oh, man.
Yeah, pollution.
Cyrus says, stop picking your nose, listen to this ad.
We want to talk about Gourmet It Up, who partners with the best restaurants in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore and Pune to bring you unique and exclusive dining experiences. Now let me put on my voiceover voice. Gourmet It Up provides access to exclusive dining experiences at the best restaurants in Mumbai. And anyone who enters the gift card code Cyrus Says in the special request field when making an experience reservation will get a rupees 500 off their first reservation. So you say Cyrus Says, make your booking, 500 bucks off your first reservation, off. And this expires at the end of April. April expires on the 30th of April.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Okay, now we've got to talk about something which is, I don't know, it's a very strange thing happened to me. The other day, well, not the other day, yesterday my wife looked at me and said I was looking really nice and attractive. And then we realized it's only because of this haze that's happened from the Gulf. Apparently the Gulf, the desert storms and the war out there, all these things are causing dust to move towards Mumbai. Ask your travel agent, don't ask me. Straight to Mumbai.
Direct, huh?
Yeah, in the last 48 hours. Have you noticed that?
I have.
Been a haze.
So from my house, you can usually see the ceiling.
Yeah.
And for the last
But that's only in pictures. I'm saying actually from your house.
Yeah.
You can actually see the ceiling.
Yeah, from like a certain angle from one part of
now
one window.
Now you could see the link but not the sea. Or the sea but not the link?
Nothing. It was this whitish
just Mr. Godbole walking his dog, Rocky. He's a boxer. Okay, fine.
Ceiling?
I'm just asking you, it's your story.
It looked like somebody had been colouring in a book with white.
Okay, fine, alright. No, I'm a little confused because how does the dust actually go from... I mean, dust is not a human being. Why would they go in this direction? Why Mumbai? I mean, there's so many cities along the way. Why can't they stop in like Kazakhstan and say, let's camp here for 2 days? Or Fargana or Samarkand or one of these places and, give them some dust. They always look pretty with big watermelons and in pictures, and look at us. All we have is all these dust, haze, and in any case, some of our people don't look that good, and now you put more haze on them, and it doesn't work for me. I want to know why they're targeting Mumbai. Gulf people, answer this. Why is your dust coming to us?
You have to say Gulf.
Our dust stays with us. Our dust is very loyal. Our dust is like a joint family dust. They stay in the house with you, they grow with you, they never leave. They are fed by you, they look after you, and their children stay with you, and their children, it just goes on. So our dust is very patriotic, but their dust is always running away. So their governments have to do something about their dust because it's really causing trouble. Jokes apart, aren't you feeling this haze is a bit more than, let's say, 5 years ago when it was bad enough?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
It's terrible, except for ugly men at night when, it makes them look a little better because all you see is the t-shirt, which is always the best part. Not always, but sometimes.
Well, it worked for your wife, right?
It did. My first wife, by the way. I'm on my third. Dust moves in mysterious ways. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Delhi. I want to congratulate Delhi, and if anyone from Delhi is tuning in, Delhi's air pollution has been worse than Beijing's again this week, which makes it the number one, hold for applause and music, the number one worst polluted city in the world, bar none. That's fantastic.
Amazing.
And
what an accomplishment.
when you think about Achhe Din and Make in India and all,
Swachh Bharat.
Swachh Bharat and everything else in the background. This is something beautiful. And let me just give you a little more interesting information. The tiny PM 2.5, tiny PM, no double meaning, that enter your bloodstream from your lungs can cause cancer. And that's fluctuated between 61 and 166. These numbers don't make sense, but basically they have tripled in Beijing and they have bounced even further in Delhi. So
wow, we're number one in something. That's
we
good.
are overtaking the Chinese in growth at last.
Oh my God, if only we could do this in the Olympics.
Yeah. Yes. And so well done, Delhi. Mumbai, of course, is catching up, doing their best to do as good as Delhi. But in the meantime, our Prime Minister speaks about saving electricity. And
the environment.
And the environment by using needlework. What was that whole thing?
So it was part of something he said. But he basically said that the wisdom of our grandmothers is what we should aspire to follow to save the environment right now and be less dependent on technology.
My grandmother was a fighter pilot, by the way, the first.
Dude.
Very famous. Never touched the needles. Yeah, of course, my grandfather did, but there was different type of needles. Because he had a depression to cope with. Every time his wife flies in the sky above him and he's got a desk job, it's different times.
So I wonder if he meant those needles, but there was thread involved. So what he said was on full moon nights, we should just...
Now we're talking about what the PM said.
Yeah.
So the PM said, and you quote, on full moon nights...
I'm paraphrasing. On full moon nights, everybody in the whole country should gather together in communities and thread needles by the moonlight.
We start with needles and then we can do the garba. It begins with that. So what is the moonlight connection? Oh, because you want to save electricity.
Yeah. But what are you going to do with those?
We'll become like Pakistan. We'll work once in a fortnight. Is that it?
Well, we'll thread needles once in a fortnight. What we'll do with those threaded needles, I don't know. And how many will we thread? And
see, I'm okay with saving electricity. I've been saying from the beginning of time, work only in daylight, all right? Moment it's 4:35, we should stop. Look at Calcutta. They're doing so well. They work 1 or 2 hours a day. Goa, half an hour. I mean, it works in other cities. Why do we not follow that? Why work in the night? So saving electricity, I'm okay with. What about threading a needle? I take personally about 45 minutes to find the hole. Okay, let's move on.
We're talking about...
No, let's just keep going. Sometimes you need to keep going.
Eye of the needle.
No, let's just keep going.
All right,
but it's true. It's not easy. I've got early Parkinson's and I just can't,
So if you practice, every full moon night,
some people just, their hands aren't steady.
It'll make your eyesight better, your hand-eye coordination. No, you're not.
And it's impossible in Delhi because you won't be able to see anything, or in Mumbai with the haze. So there's no way you can put that thread into that hole. I'm sorry, it won't happen.
So, okay,
and don't go there. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Don't go into anything else.
All right. So World Earth Day is that 28th of March or whatever. It just happened and we all forgot about it.
Yeah.
Is when you turn off the lights.
It was wonderfully. I think it was well celebrated. I think the Saudis attacked Yemen and in the Garissa University in Kenya, people were slaughtered. So Earth Day was done. It was as usual, true to form. I think it was a great place to be on the 28th.
Yeah, and they switched off electricity for an hour.
And but we also had 5 public holidays while the rest of the world was burning. So, I'm okay with it. World Earth Day worked for me this time.
So I think Modi's just taking it further and saying we should celebrate it every month on the full moon.
I'm not against the philosophy of not using things. I think we should work in daylight and, solar paneling for everyone. I'm all for that. But what I can't understand is why do we all have to do needlework?
Your grandmother obviously didn't.
I'm a trained lawyer. I mean, really. I mean, all those years going to do your government law college and doing your LLB and then you come back and then all you got is a thread for it and maybe needle with a hole. I mean, really.
Well, here's the best part. Mr. Modi already preempted that everybody would be talking about this and making fun of it. And he said all these people think they're too highfalutin. So I know they're going to make fun of this, but it is right.
Okay, I like the way you raised your hand on that one. Fair enough. So that's where we are. We all have to, concerned citizens, remember, if you live in Mumbai and Delhi, you're exempted because of haze issues and pollution. But anywhere else in India, you must, on a full moon night, land up doing some needlework, that is threading a needle, and then what do you do with it?
I don't know, hang out with your
Then we'll come back to you. We haven't thought it through. We'll come back to you with part 2. But for now, just thread the needle and start doing some needlework, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very sad evening or morning if you're in Japan, wherever the hell you are, for all of us because Chhavi, who's a producer and the brain behind this show, has just fainted out of the pain and the angst that she feels. She has ranted and raved, but no one cares anymore and the pain is just too much. For the pain to subside, we need you to come and join us on this wonderful exercise of going nowhere with our conversation, which we will do next week. Because we have nothing else to do, we can at least show disrespect on the show and abuse, rant, rave, and behave like spoiled children in urban India should. Till next time, it's bye-bye. We leave you with our traditional bye, which you can't see. So here it is.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the views and opinions of the IndusVox Media Network or any of our show advertisers or sponsors. No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast, obviously.